Hello friends, welcome back to Tales and Tales with Brittany. My name's Brittany and today we are going to be playing my TBR game, Cats on a Bookshelf, for the very last time in 2025. I just can't believe it's the end of 2025. Where the heck has the year gone? How is there like 31 days left in the year? How is it almost 2026? I cannot believe it's going to be December in just a few days from when I'm finishing this. In Cats on a Bookshelf, I roll the dice and make my way across this lovely board, reading either easy, medium, or hard prompts. We also land on some squares that are let's play a game that has some extra fun games such as spinner wheels or random color generators. And then if we land on any of these cute little cat pieces, we get some kitten mischiefs and we'll see what everything is on up to. So I did not finish a single book for my November TBR. In fact, I only started one of the books and it's going to be rolling on over into the month of December. I have so many books in progress that I want to read by the end of the year. I'm not going to draw a punishment jar from my TBR jar, and in fact, I'm probably going to really revamp this for 2026. There's definitely a few books in here that I'm no longer interested in, and honestly, I kind of want to focus on my 35 before 35 books, as well as my currently reading series, and so I'll probably update this to only include books that are on either of those two lists. So let's make our way into one of my first rolls. Cats on a Bookshelf roll number 1. A 2. 1, 2, which is a medium prompt of Hello December, published in December. For published in the month of December, I have the perfect book. I will be reading The Mating Game by Lana Ferguson. This is the second book in kind of an interconnected-ish series. The first book is The Fake Mate. It is a shapeshifter werewolf omegaverse story that also takes kind of place in the regular world, I suppose, or a world very similar to the regular world that just happens to have shifters. I'll be buddy reading this with my good friend Tennille. Very excited to start this. So it says, contractor Tess Covington has spent her entire life as a regular non-shifter human. So after she lands in the Denver ER with flu-like symptoms, it comes as a complete shock to be told that no, she's not sick. She's actually a late-presenting Omega Wolf shifter. With her family in dire financial straits and a contract for her own television show on the line, she can't afford not to complete the renovation job she came for. And given that her newly emerged wolf is in danger of going into heat, she'll just have to do her best to follow the doctor's advice to keep away from alpha shifters. Alpha wolf Hunter Barrett has spent most of his adult life living by routine, and a big part of that involves staying clear of Omegas after having one stomp on his heart. So when the tiny contractor shows up at his place smelling like the one thing he's determined to avoid, he thinks it must be some sort of cosmic joke. But with his lodge on the verge of failing, and the sweet-smelling Omega, his only hope to turn things around, he's left with few other options than to grin and bear it. Set on avoiding each other as much as possible, they find things unexpectedly starting to heat up between them, enough to thaw even the frostiest of hearts. Though even with the pair going head over paws, Though even with the pair going head over paws for each other, there's no changing that their fling has an expiration date. The more time they spend together, the more they realize they're playing a dangerous game, one where the only thing on the line is their hearts. Cats on a Bookshelf roll number 2. We have a 3. 1, 2, 3, which is a hard prompt of Secret Identity. With a Secret Identity, I'm going to finally be continuing in the Throne of Glass series by reading Crown of Midnight. Since this is a direct sequel and not like an interconnected standalone, I won't go too much into this. Pretty much, if you are within the fantasy reading space, I'm sure you've heard of Throne of Glass. Probably have gotten lots of spoilers. Somehow I have avoided the majority of the major spoilers for the series, other than the actual secret identity that is going on within this series, but that's okay. I really love Throne of Glass, and I'm not too sure why it's taken me this long to get to Crown of Midnight. I did start this year with the goal of wanting to read the complete Throne of Glass series within the year. I read Throne of Glass in January, and then somehow I just never got to Crown of Midnight. Never got to do the one book a month before the end of the year. So definitely excited to try to continue this. Also, the audiobook is nice and short. It's only 12 hours and 45-ish minutes, so definitely something that is actually realistic for me to try to read by the end of the year, especially with all of the other books that I currently have going that are rolling over into the month of December. Cats on a Bookshelf roll number 3. Ooh, we have an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another hard prompt of verb in the title. For a book with a verb in the title, I am choosing a very chonky book, and I'm choosing Falling in a Sea of Stars by Kristen Britton. This is the 4th book in the Green Rider series. Very excited to finally finish this series, or at least read this book that came out in September and get myself caught up. I have been going through kind of a journey throughout the year of reading all of the series in anticipation of this book coming out. Did not finish my reread in time to read Falling in a Sea of Stars on release date, but that's okay. Definitely going to be excited to finally continue this. We will see how it goes. There tends to be about 4 years between the release dates of books in the series, so it's going to be weird to be fully caught up and not have something to look forward to for quite some time. Cats on a Bookshelf roll number 4. We have a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another hard prompt of Mafia Romance. For a Mafia Romance, I'll be continuing my read of the Bound in Blood Mafia Chronicles series with the 3rd book, Bound in Hatred. When Gianna watches her older sister being forced into an arranged marriage, she promises herself to escape a similar fate. The moment Matteo, the Blade Vitelli, sees Gianna on his brother's wedding, he wants to possess her. Her father agrees to the bond, but Gianna has no intention of marrying for any other reason than love. A few months before the wedding, Gianna runs away and begins a new life in Europe away from the Mafia, but one of their best hunters and assassins is after her, Matteo. When Matteo and a couple of her father's soldiers catch her, not only her freedom is at risk, but also the life of the people with her. Gianna is taken home and forced to marry Matteo. Ridden by guilt over having dragged innocent people into her world and overcome with hatred towards Matteo, Gianna is determined to make life hell for her husband, but Matteo is a master at mind games, and their struggle for power soon turns into hate-fueled nights of passion. Overall, I've been really enjoying the Born in Blood Mafia Chronicles. They are really quick reads for me. Overall, they're just they're a fun palate cleanser, spicy time. Not too sure how I'm going to feel about this. Gianna, if I remember correctly, was underage the first time that she meets Matteo, and so there is a little bit of an age gap between them, and a little bit much when I find that kind of a love interest is underage when the other love interest meets them, especially within kind of mafia-esque stories where there is definitely usually a balance of in power within these kind of crime families. Usually overall, I do find most of them, they're kind of very patriarchy-esque. Women don't have a lot of power in them. So we'll see how I end up feeling with this. It's really short. It's less than 9-hour audiobook, so I expect to get through it really, really quickly, especially because I'll be able to listen to it at probably at least 1.5 times speed. So hopefully I'll be able to make my way through this and get another book off of my TBR. Cats on a Bookshelf roll number, I think 5. Another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we finished it. Wonderful. That will give us a lovely little mood read. I'll be reading Good Spirits by B.K. Borson. This is the book club pick for a few of the Patreons that I am in. One of my wonderful friends sent me this copy as an early kind of Christmas gift, which was really wonderful. Very excited to read this. This will be my first B.K. Borson, and I've only heard great things from her and from her books. So, he's the ghost of Christmas past. She's not exactly Scrooge. Ghost of Christmas past, Nolan Callahan intends to spend this holiday haunting like every other. Get in, get out, return to his otherwise aimless existence as a ghost awaiting the afterlife. But when he stays with Harriet York, the sweetest assignment he's ever had, he suddenly finds himself wishing for a future. Harriet York has no idea why she's being haunted. She's a good person, or at least she tries to be. A people pleaser to her core, she always does what's expected of her. But as she and Nolan begin to examine her past, they discover there are threads that bind them together, and realize there might be more to moving on than expected. With the deadline of Christmas Eve fast approaching, will they find the key to their futures in each other's pasts, or will they stay firmly in the present, indulging in their unexpected spirited connection? very excited to be reading this, especially since I will be chatting along in a few Patreon Discords with my thoughts, and excited to read the thoughts of other people. And it's such a beautiful copy. Like, look at these stunning edges. So Cats on a Bookshelf was really nice to me this month. Did we hit a bunch of hard prompts? Yes, but we didn't hit a single let's play a game. We didn't hit a single Kitten Mischief, and we made our way through the board with only 5 rolls, which is pretty neat, I would say. Thank you so much for joining me for my December TBR. It's the final TBR of 2025. So excited to find out what the rest of the year holds. I hope you have a wonderful day, whether it's morning, noon, or night. And I hope your current read is a 5-star. Take care and happy holidays.